Disclaimer, if you know the 40k lore, this video will probably give you an aneurysm. Hello pimps, how are you? Fantastic. Do your peaches look like mine? No. Can they look like mine? Yes. Should you play Boltgun? I don't know. Do you like the orgasmic sounds of heretical purging? Do you want to grow peach fuzz down to the floor from firing 250 consecutive heavy bolter rounds? Of course you do. Swan dive into the best night of your life. So pimps, should you buy Boltgun? You tell me.
My love of the Imperium is matched only by my hatred of the heretic.
Boltgun is the ultimate boomer shooter that will fuzz your peaches in no time due to the sheer riz per dollar that they pack into this beautiful little game. It's the TRT injection of pure gore, chain swords, heavy bolters, and melta-guns that break the goddamn space-time continuum with how hard they hit. Did you go to the doctor recently only to have them tell you that your low energy may be caused by a rapidly decreasing swimmer count? Well, play this game and you'll have more spunk in you than a can of Red Bull. Medical fact! And for the Zoomer generation, consider this game a second dose of Adderall for the day, because as it would turn out, the ultimate stimuli is flying down a mine shaft and crushing nerdlings harder than that BBW from the Dove commercial crushes Big Macs. But I'm not talking about the great unclean one just yet. I'll bitch about that thing later. Let's kick this off by talking about the story. I did not realize there was one. I was so amped up from all the heretical purging that my eyes were glazed over during the cutscenes as I watched back the tapes of the Emperor's work being done in my mind. People think being a Space Marine is all about purging, but in reality, it's also about studying.
The game of crushing the very souls and the very thoughts within those souls so that not even a heretical corrupted bot can find its way to the Emperor. Ensuring I crush the heretics so hard that not even the smell of disobedience to our creed wafts into the Emperor's nose. Slaying, obliterating their bodies so hard that not even any memory of the heretic will live on. You can never forget who we do it all for. For her, the Emperor.
As I was saying, let's talk about the blood
for the blood god.
One thing I absolutely love about this game is the Kool-Aid waterfalls of blood that fly out of every enemy. It adds another level of complete cellular destruction that I expect from a Space Marine mad lad, and that extra level of misting enemies is exactly the level of immersion I want in every Space Marine game. Hell, I want it in every game! Because I mean, just look at this! Nothing further, Your Honor. Moving on, let's talk about the combat. It's unquestionably fucking awesome. It's a power fantasy playing once again as the Space Marine Blue Man group, so pretty much like Space Marine in that regard, except in Space Marine you waddled around like fat bastard thrashing orcs, whereas this time you're bee-hopping through levels at 40 miles per hour thrashing just about every other flavor of heretic, except for the only
heretic that matters. I'm still waiting, baby doll. Our time will come.
Now, it's an important thing to know that this is a simple game for simple men. You shoot things, and from time to time, you even slice them. Because Space Marines don't show up for diplomacy, they show up for demolition. They are the Mr. Clean of purging the unclean. The Walter White of state-sanctioned smite. The killers of anything that looks remotely different from them. And I'd say this game translated that simplicity very well because, God, I haven't beat this much meat since Kwanzaa. So if you're looking for RPG elements, mini-games, or choosing your own adventure, then feel free to choose an adventure very fucking far away from this game. Still sticking around? Well, the next trial you must survive is the fact that this game moves faster than a homeless man on bath salts. Despite being called a boomer shooter and styled like the real boomer shooters, this game will melt the brain of most boomers faster than a melt-a-gun because of how relentless it is. You haven't seen someone take this many shots to the face in such rapid succession since last night when you were watching those films you like. In fact, this game plays so hard and fast that people are actually bitching about it in the Steam reviews. And you know what I have to say to that? I do not care. Because have you seen this chainsword in action? Have you felt what it's like to edge your own death over a cliff while spamming the homing chainsword? This game was made for me, alright? And if you have a problem with that,
then I have a problem with you.
And if you still aren't looking at this game like a Romanian looks at an unattended car, then allow me to introduce to you the taunt button.
Tear out your heart! Spill your blood!
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack.
AKA the talk shit before you giblet every last god goddamn Xeno on this planet.
Can I get a yes, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my favorite thing about these taunts is that you have the very extravagant, lore-filled ones like this. But then you also just have... When I learned this button, I spammed it for 4 hours straight until I beat the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Moving on, let's talk about the weapons. Look at your peaches, now back at mine. Now back to your peaches, now back to me. These are my peaches after having used the heavy bolter for about 6 hours of this game. This shit breaks the sound barrier. 12 out of 10. Would happily get tinnitus again. Secondly, the melt-a-gun is just... Oh, I love this thing like a fat kid loves a buffet. You ever heard of the heart attack gun? Don't worry about it, it's a CIA thing. They'll show it to you someday. Well, anyways, this is the heart eraser gun. Because any Xeno's body that dare comes in the way of the Emperor's will be fucking erased thanks to this beauty. And you know what else is beautiful? The grav gun. If this is the heart eraser, this is the identity eraser. You get killed by this thing, and it will disappear you from every school photo, every employee of the month picture, every thirst trap. Gone! Going super Stalin on your ass. And trust me when I say you will need it because of these stupid goddamn bosses. But I'll get back to that in a second, because I can't leave the gun section without saying a heartfelt fuck the plasma gun. I was intending on elaborating, but to do that would be to acknowledge that this is a gun, and it's not.
It's a heretic in metal form that should be stripped down to the last bolt.
Moving into the stuff that I don't like about this game, where's the flamethrower? Do I ask much of you, Games Workshop? Do I, boy? Minus 10 points. I'm sorry. It's out of my hands. I just work here, Tony. Next, this level can go fuck itself. And I'm not gonna get into it, but just know that it's a giant vertical twisting, turning mess, and you have to keep finding your way back to this little place in the middle without a map, old lad. If I wanted to explore a pretzel, I'd go to Annie Ann's. American reference, God bless. Don't get me wrong, they took a good chance on the Malachi Crunch level and also the Rising Lava level, because it was here that I got to confirm that the AI is completely brain dead. But as long as we're talking about things that I don't like, I hate just about every boss in this game with a goddamn passion. They're bullet spongy to all hell, oftentimes not that engaging to fight against, and most of all, this stupid goddamn bird can force choke you for all the health. Fine to fight against once, but when they use it one more time, or 2 more times, or fucking 3 more times, I'm feeling a
Purging coming on, brother. That's right, you stupid big bird reject. Why don't you fly your fried and filleted ass on back to Elmo's dick? Oh, that's right, because you can't fly, because you're dead.
And unfortunately, I gotta wedge music into the cons because they didn't have any of these banger menu tracks blasting throughout the actual gameplay. And if I can't hear this music in the game, then I guess I'll just stay here in the menu.
This is the good life right here. This is why I go out there and purge the heretics from 9 to 5 so I can kick back and listen to these gnarly jams. We really needed the rain.
I give this game 9 heavy bolters out of 10. We used to pray for games like these. Buy it now for 20 smackaroons, and I swear to the Emperor, compare this game to Gollum one more fucking time, and you know what? One
Time is enough. Exterminatus, bitch!
Major thanks to the Flock of Pimps for funding all the Xeno purging scene in this video, and another huge thanks to the many Pimperors. I mean, god damn, Pimperors! You are all absolutely incredible, and I cannot express how much I appreciate all the fuel that you've put into this clown car. And now it is time for a very fucking huge knighting ceremony. By the kingdom of pimps and by my left nut, I decree the following pimps Pimperor: Evan Do Things, the two-headed Pimperor; Carsona, Manuel Santiago, Jesse Ritchie, and of course our hayseed has already been knighted, but you know what? I'll knight you again, pimp. Now rise, pimps, as Pimperors. Alright, I love you. I gotta go.